What's going on, man? What's happening, dog?
Man, I can't call it, man. Happy to be here.
Man, hey, man. It's Shaq and Kobe right here, man. Y'all know who Shaq is. Y'all know who Kobe is.
Do they?
Zion has been traded. Nah, man. It's good to see you, man.
Likewise.
Good to see you, man. Man. So look, everybody already, man. People probably don't know, but you know, this is
They gonna find out.
This is Ace Boom Coon for me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get him on here, to talk about his experience, and there might be some stuff that I don't even know. It might be some stuff I'm unaware of, and because even though we both grew up in North Nashville, grew up in two different sides, and so he might experience some stuff that I didn't know just because we come up in two different family households. You just never know, and so man, welcome. And man, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, where you're from, what you do, how you do it. Yeah, man.
First of all, it's an honor, man, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Ace Boom Coon for a minute. Like, we double-digit years, for real. But I'm Mouzon Henderson, of course, from North Nashville. I'm an entrepreneur, currently in car sales right now. And how I do it, I do things to the fullest, man. You know this. Let's get it cracking, cuz. Let's go.
Man, tell us a little bit like just growing up out north for you, man. Because North Nashville look different now, right, than when we grew up in it, especially in your area specifically, right? They ain't got to my area yet, but it's coming.
It's coming.
With the Clarksville Highway expanded and everything. But just give us a little insight of like what it was growing up on like 22nd, 23rd. And all that, man.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I'm from the 23rd area. So, man, back then, I feel like I'm being generous when I say this, but North Nashville was, I would want to say, about 92% black, right? I can't think of any other ethnicity, maybe Christian. He was down the street. He was Mexican. I mean, not Mexican, excuse me, Asian. Ooh, he was Asian, but that was like one person out of what? I'm trying to think blocks and blocks away, and I can't remember anyone because we got Joe Johnson here, we got Cheatham over there, black people. Like, North Nashville was the Mecca, right? So now in 2021, it's like a whole shift, right? Like, it's trendy to be North Nashville. Yeah, I live in Germantown. I remember when that was Salem Town. What do you mean? What is Germantown, right? So, and then it's a whole different tax bracket. Like, you got to have money to stay in Germantown. You know what I'm saying? That was a poverty-ridden area, and just like that, it's Germantown. But growing up in North Nashville, like, a lot of things, it was just normal for me. Like, seeing things, just that whole, some would call it struggle, but it was a way of life, right? And then in North Nashville, it wasn't time to have an identity crisis, right? You had to know who you were, or you weren't gonna get tried. Someone's gonna see about you if you're trying to act like anything that you weren't, right? So with that being said, like, so people are dealing with struggle, poverty, so it was a rawness to growing up in North Nashville and a truth to growing up in North Nashville. Like I said, you gotta be who you were, or you're gonna be seen about. It's gonna get questioned, right? So growing up like that, I was prone to being straightforward, being honest, being real. And then going to college and seeing the world, realizing it's not that way. Like, no one's real, for real. It's a lot of self-promoting people. Pretty much the whole world is pretty much like that. Just this little corner of the hood where everyone's real and we live by this code, but no one lives like that. And so just getting that experience, like actually going to college and learning that, like, no one's like that, like, was like a whole culture shock to me. Like, everything that I was taught was a lie, pretty much, or it wasn't really applicable to the rest of the world. And that's a big part, because I'm not going back to North Nashville. Well, not preferably. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make something of myself. So I got to learn these skills and learn how to maneuver through a world that I never was learned or never taught how to maneuver through. So that was a real interesting phase for me.
So speaking of maneuvering and navigating in North Nashville, like, how did like racism and white supremacy affect that navigation in your upbringing?
Oh man, that was even before like the identity of North Nashville, right? I was like, I'm gonna say I was a 5-year-old kid. Power Rangers ruled my world, right? And so the main dog, the top dog, is Tommy. Green Ranger, alpha male, and I mean, lead role, all that. You want to be like Tommy. And so that's already planted in my subconscious. Like, I want to be like Tommy. And the first thing I see is the hair. I was like, man, I gotta get my hair like that. So automatically, I'm looking in the mirror like my hair's not good enough. I'm having plans when I was 5 years old of perming my hair. I didn't know what a perm was. I was like, I gotta straighten my hair like Tommy and rock the ponytail, because that's like I'm trying to be the alpha dog. Right. So already 5 years old, like that white supremacist concept, like it's so underlined and like subliminal that you wouldn't even catch it, but like that it affected me right there. Like, wow, I was already ready to just like ruin my whole identity of who I was, because what the vision that I seen of like an alpha male was Tommy. Like, and everybody, like we know Zach, they had Zach, but Zach was such a like byproduct. No one even cared about Zach. Everybody had their own episode except Zach. Even Billy was the geek of the whole squad. He had his own episode, but Zach didn't. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, Zach, man, I'm trying to be like Tommy. You feel me? Like, wasn't even about the identity. Like, yeah, he kind of looked like me. Nothing. Like, no, I'm trying to be like him.
Zach didn't even have the edge of it.
Oh my, look like he got edged by a spoon. You feel me? Like, it was that crazy. Like, no relative thing. We have nothing in common. Like, yo, I ain't even trying to. Okay, next, Tommy. Like, so just knowing that, like looking back on it as a kid, right? You're not aware of that, but growing up, like sitting back, like, wow, like that early, I was indoctrinated to white supremacy. Right. Didn't even catch it, but like until I grew up and started learning more about it. So from then on, like it gets more, right? You get taught more, and like how like the victor wins. The victor that wins, right? He tells the history. Right. So it's more indoctrination, but that's where I can like root it to. Like when I was 5 years old, it started that. Right. That's crazy to me. But
man, how did your like family community like deal with that?
As far as like my immediate family?
Yeah, immediate family. Because and many people might not think of this, but you know, black people can have mannerisms of white supremacy too. Right? And those mannerisms can be in our immediate family, our community, and it ain't got to come directly from white folks. You know what I'm saying? All the white folks right now could disappear and they could still be, you know what I'm saying, white supremacy because of conditioning, right? And so in your family, in your immediate family construct, did you see any of that white supremacy, or even like, was it combated? Was it intentionally combated by parents or by, you know, not immediate family, but like still family, but it might not be blood, they community family.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was I want to say intentionally combated, but it could have been accident. My mother, if you don't know my mother, she's a strong, proud woman. She's gonna tell you like it is. So growing up, like, no, you're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She's combating that narrative of black not really being beautiful, not being portrayed as a standard of beauty. Right. So she's in my face, my father as well, like telling me who I am, who I really am. So they're all combating that, which is a vital part to my upbringing, right? I wouldn't be the man that I am because of those two, right? Them taking the time and letting me know who I am, giving me a sense of identity, giving me pride behind that. So yeah, it was intentionally combated, and man, I'm very appreciative of it, right? Because I'll be walking around here not knowing who I was, with my head down, with no confidence. So man, strongly appreciate it.
Man, when you went to college, because at MTSU, like, you know, like, truthfully, you know what I'm saying, many of us didn't know how to navigate college, right? Because of like, okay, we grew up in our own black bubbles, right? Right. And so we go to college and it's this culture shock, even when we realize it or not, but we avoid it because like, oh, we find and identify people that look like the people we just came from, or the, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so we still keep our perspective very narrow. You know what I'm saying? When you have this like melting pot of people and resources, it's like, I'm kind of comfortable, right? Just kind of what I'm familiar with, right? And so, in that experience for yourself, did you find ways to combat like that white supremacy or confront white supremacy through your journey, like from growing up from 5, middle school, high school, then college? Right.
Okay. So from 5, middle school, I was kind of blessed to be in a melting pot, right? So it wasn't never like overt white supremacy or racism or white hate in my face. So it was kind of like a honeymoon phase, kind of cool. Like, all right, we get along. Like, I had a best friend that was Mexican, another one that was white. Like, on some just cool, like, wasn't really clicking with me yet. You know what I'm saying? Like the ills of the world, right? It was just still in a cool kids phrase. As far as like, I want to say middle school, that's when I got into the real, well, more of the real world, when I'm more clicked up with black people, where it makes more sense. Like, you don't understand where I'm coming from. They do. They get where I'm coming from. So I'm gonna stay with them. I'm gonna kick with them, and it just made more sense. It was more organic, right?
Right.
And so in high school, it was nigga central. Know what I'm saying? That's what I tell people. I went to a HBCU for high school because that's all it was.
Right.
We had 5 white people. Like,
right.
I can count them off on my hand, literally. Like,
right.
So with that being said, like, I'm immersed in blackness. And it was beautiful blackness. It got crazy at times, you
right.
feel me?
A lot of times. Not this nigga, a lot of times.
It got crazy at times, but we were with us, and we were
right.
cool with being us, right? We didn't
right.
have that scope of white supremacy on us, so we were free to be us, right? So
right.
we in honors classes,
right.
know what I'm saying, acting a fool, but still making those good grades, right?
right.
Know what I'm saying? So in a different setting, I might be surrounded by white people in an honors class, right? And that might intimidate me, just knowing the seeds have been planted by white supremacy. But here, I got my guy Rome over here, man. I got Marquez over here. We laughing, all that, acting a fool, but reciting Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? Reading Hamlet, doing all this, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like, that just put me in a mind of mentality, like, we are reaching for more. We're not less than, even though the world is telling us differently. So that kind of like installed the pride that my mom and my father's been kicking to me like that whole time. So it's like, yeah, we're scholars. You know what I'm saying? We might act a fool and laugh and giggle and all that, but we're scholars. We on A and B honor roll. What you mean? Like, so that helped definitely throughout the whole upbringing, like being just like submerged in white supremacy, because it's everywhere, right? In the teachings, what we watch, you feel me? You can't escape it. You feel me? So, but having that reality helped me tremendously, like throughout life. So then from high school, we go to MTSU, which is a whole 360 in my mind, because finally I'm interacting with white people at a high level, though. They're everywhere. You can't miss them. You know what I'm saying? You're the minority. This is in North Nashville. This is in Pearl Cone High School. And then this is also a situation I've never truly been in. So it just comes off as weird. So far as like learning, I never really learned anything at that point in time, except I didn't like it. Like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I remember even those that look like me, they were more accustomed to that interaction. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I remember one of these days, we were in college, and it was warm out. Maybe it was, I feel like it was one of the springtime, like, it was warm out, and nobody was outside. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, where I'm from, like, everybody, like, that first 70-degree weather day, what? Like, it looked like the summertime. Like, everybody out, you know what I'm saying? Girls in their short shorts, we hooping. What we doing? Shooting dice. What we doing? You feel me? But to go in that environment and see everybody inside, I was like, okay, this is different, man. I don't like that. I need that happiness. When the warmth comes, man, we might as well still be in winter. You feel me? So psyche just kicking in like, wow, man, this is different. I don't like this, man. Where the happiness at? So, and then I see myself where I don't feel comfortable being me, man, because I feel like I'm going to be judged as something that I'm not, just by being me. So I feel like I'm diminishing myself when I'm around these spaces. You feel me? So I'm like, man, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. So yeah, that was my experience at MTSU. You know what I'm saying? So I did have to learn how to be more open and understanding to maneuver through those situations, right, in a better manner. But initially, man, it was tough. It was tough, dog.
Man, growing up here, man, in North Nashville, did you get outside of your North Nashville bubble?
Not for real. Not like I thought North Nashville was the world, but more realistically, I thought North Nashville was Nashville, right? I thought that's how everybody, because this was before gentrification, for the craze of Nashville came through, and it was urban areas like this. The inner city Nashville was black. That's just what it is. Like we got JCUC, we got the whole east side was from the Inglewood out east. That was black. Even West 40th Ave, that was black. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like I'm thinking like this is it. This is the world. You feel me? Like it's nothing outside of that. So pretty much that whole transition of going to MTC was a smack in the face, and me slowly realizing, no, this is the world for real.
Right.
You was in a bubble. You was in
Right.
imaginary land, like thinking this was it. But nah, dog, this is really how it is.
Do you think being in that bubble helped you more or hurt you more in the long run?
I think it helped me more. Just knowing or seeing us work together, even when we had less, we didn't have nothing.
Right.
But we worked together. We had a culture. Like I tell people this all the time. Joe Johnson, I kicked into Joe Johnson a few times. That was the best community I ever seen. I went with my homie. I went with Howard.
R.I.P. Howard.
R.I.P. my guy, Howard Griffin, for sure. But I went there with Howard. You know what I'm saying? People was checking in on us, making sure we good. Some woman fed me. She ain't never met me a day in my life. Like it was a community. It felt like a community. Everybody knew everybody, and it was problems. Witnessed a few fights there, but it never escalated to anything crazy. Like because elders was watching. All right, y'all break that up. Y'all go shake it off. All right, go about your business type deal. It was the most community-based community I ever seen in my life. Like, and I think people miss that when we talk about the projects because that's a bad stigma, right? Of course that's a bad stigma. Low income, poverty, get it. But go in there, experience people, talk to them.
Right.
Like, and that's what changed my world. But also, so I feel like that upbringing in North Nashville, I feel like it helped me because it ensured that pride in me and made me realize that we can do it. Like, we just don't have resources and opportunity. That's all it is.
Right.
We got everything else.
Right.
You give us resources and opportunity, we're going to boom. We're going to go crazy.
Right.
If it wasn't for that, what's the difference? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Right.
yeah, man, that helped me a lot. I'm glad and I'm proud that I was raised in North Nashville. You feel me?
Do you wish you would have been able to get out the bubble a little bit more, though, to see the rest of, like, what actual Nashville looks like?
That's a good question, a great question, man. Ooh.
Like, looking back, anyway.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I say yes, man. The reason why, we took a trip to Vandy, right? You remember we were just kicking on Vandy campus, and we were just, you know what I'm saying, just enjoying it, whatever, walking around, doing whatever we do. And we had a conversation with a few people, right? And it hit me there. I was like, you're not smarter than me. Mm-hmm. But you're here at Vandy, right? It has this prestige of being smart, Ivy League type
Harvard
deal.
of the South.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it hit me like, I could have went here. That never occurred to me. At Pearl, in North Nashville, never, ever occurred to me.
Why not? Like, I asked myself the same thing. Like, we could have, you know what I'm saying? Why not though? Like, is that white supremacy? Is that racism? Like
I don't want to blame. You know what I'm saying? I want to play the blame game, but yeah,
like the social conditioning.
There it is.
Like,
yeah, social conditioning for sure. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, you turn on that TV, you see us in a criminal stance or in a criminal place, right? Being criminalized or whatever. And then so to have that stigma or to see that every day, all day, and then that total opposite narrative is a Vandy, right?
I want to take a poll right now. I wonder how many people, like black folks specifically, that grew up like, no matter what side you grew up on, like but you went to inner city public school, like we did. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many of them believed or was encouraged to go to Vanderbilt.
Right.
Because if you have a Harvard of the South in your backyard,
down the street.
that should like down the street, literally. That you would think like it should at least be an option,
right?
You know what I'm saying? It should at least be like, okay, like I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put Vandy school code for my ACT to get to them, right? Type of thing.
And no one was kicking it though. No, like the guidance counselors, no one was kicking it. Like, yeah, y'all can go to Vandy, man. Why not Vandy? Type deal.
And I wonder if that was them trying to like either protect us or like. I don't think Miss Hutchinson. I know she believed in us. Like, I don't think Miss Hutchinson was intentionally.
Shout out Miss Hutchinson.
Shout out to Miss Hutchinson. But but I wonder though. I want people to really comment and reflect on that. If you grew up here in Nashville and in the city, went to public school, did you if you black, did you feel like you could go to or encouraged to go to Vanderbilt?
Right.
Because I don't think I know too many people like that's from here that went to. I maybe know a few, like maybe 5, maybe.
I think I know 2.
Yeah, I would say maybe 5.
I think I know 2.
Maybe
man.
5. And so, damn, that's crazy. But it's wild.
And they both went to MLK.
Well, that's a different funnel. You know
Exactly. My point exactly.
That's a different type of funnel. Yeah. It was crazy because Greg just did an episode. And he went to Martin Luther King. I had no idea he went to Martin Luther King.
I didn't either. Didn't he? Wasn't that Pearl for me too?
Yeah, he was at head and like I don't. So Greg is out of the Greg. You know, Greg got to break this down to us. But
was he at Pearl for me? I don't think so. He just in the group me on Facebook. Never mind. He didn't go to Pearl. But I know that.
But he said he went to. He said he was wrestling and everything. Yeah. He said he broke his ankle, but then like a white girl lied on him, and said that like he sexually assaulted her.
Wow.
And and then we talked about the trajectory of like that situation and how it changed his path because he basically was forced to like plead guilty to the situation, got kicked out, had to go alternative school, and then once you go down that path, and then it's what I'm saying, single parent household. He didn't have the resources that his mama had. So it's just interesting
so
that
like he good right now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like made out just staying positive, but
even Coned out, just
but
making
the residual effects of like just that in the system in itself, and just like it can change the trajectory of your whole life.
Facts.
Which I don't know if the powers that be or the decision makers that be at that particular moment that put that pressure on black kids.
Right.
Think about how this decision in the discrimination, the microaggressions, this racism that I'm implying to this young man, a young black lady, could affect them down the line. Like the judge in Murfreesboro, right? Like they really need to go ahead and like lock her up and like throw away the key because you can't measure like the residual effects of her decisions to unconstitutionally and unlawfully put black kids in jail.
Right.
Like, how can you measure that? You don't know what trauma. You can't measure the trauma, the repercussions, the behavior because like I can't do nothing else. I'm in this system. You can't. So like she ruined lives. Right. She probably ruined families.
Yeah.
And so futures. Yeah, she literally ruined futures. And so what do you do with that? Like And so like, and I want people, especially those who may be judgmental or racist or carry mannerism or white supremacy, like think about that. Like think about the residual effects that you're causing on that person's future, family, well-being, mentally and physically. And if you're out there to seek and destroy, okay, well maybe that's what you're trying to do. But if you're not really trying to intentionally doing that, and you just biased and you just racist and maybe indoctrinated. You need to do some self work on yourself. Like reflect. This is time to do it. Sure.
And I think that's it. Like sleeping on that. Like black people are indoctrinated, but white people are indoctrinated as well. Like on that white. I don't even like the word white supremacy. You feel me? Because I feel like we're trying to put a pretty word with an ugly thing. It's white hate. You know what I'm saying? And just think about that racist mentality. Like you think you're better than me on what grounds?
Right.
Talk to me. How are you better than me?
Right. Because I'm white. That's really where it goes.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So add some type of logical answer to that. Like you can't. You're indoctrinated. You just believe that. It makes no sense whatsoever. You feel like we're better than you athletically, right? Given the right resource. You have kids in Africa, you know what I'm saying, with a high IQ that's literally pulling water out of thin air. Right. You know what I'm saying? To feed their village. And so where are we going with this? So we're more athletic. We're obviously intelligent. So how does this work? Right. How are you better than me? Right. So that indoctrination just has them just thinking that, well, black people are violent. Okay, cool. You give us like I said, you give us resource opportunity. Let's see how violent we are. Right. Black people, they kill this, that, and other in their neighborhoods. It's not stable. Stop bringing guns and drugs to our neighborhood. Let's see what we do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what is this built off of? What is this this racist, this hatred built off of.
Right.
Indoctrination that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think I agree with that. It's time to self-reflect and check yourself because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And people build their whole lives off this.
Yeah, nah, man. I had Linda Pope. She came in here and pretty much, you know, kind of like admitted like it's like she was indoctrinated by her grandfather and used the Bible to do it. Sound familiar? You know what I'm saying? And so
That's a deep rabbit hole.
so you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why even just coming on here talking about it and getting it out and like just laying it out on the table like white, black, yellow, green, you know, Latinx, Curtis, whatever ethnicity or culture you may identify with, like we all affected by it. We all indoctrinated out. Now we might be on different spectrums on how we affected by it, but we all are, and like we should talk about that more. And many of us don't get out of our bubbles, so we only see how like one side of it is affected. And so we like well, you know, shit. This we think is normal, right? Because we don't see the rest of the world. And we just go off until we get older, and then we say, "Oh damn, shit! Like we had it wrong. We had it wrong.
Yeah,
man." So through your journey and this maturity, like of recognizing, okay, what racism is, what white supremacy is, what white hate is. What have been some things like for you personally you've done to make sure you don't carry around white supremacy manners? What have you done to confront it for yourself?
Good question. I'm gonna be transparent and vulnerable right now. I feel like they go hand in hand. So as growing up, this is an indoctrination of white supremacy. But you may see another black man and clutch on your weapon, or like, what's the problem type deal. Have some hostility for them, right? That's nothing but indoctrination. So you're seeing yourself as an enemy. You're seeing yourself as a threat. You know what I'm saying? So I had to check myself on that. So instead of seeing that, I see love. What's going on, bro? That's why I speak. What's going on, man? Much love. I bring you in close. You know what I'm saying? So I had to check myself on that because that's a quick way to self-destruction. Because a lot of us carry that around, don't even know it.
Right.
Don't even know
and
it.
that's white supremacy that we carry.
White supremacy, right.
So let me be clear. Black folks, you can carry around white supremacy, and we all have. Like, I can't, like when you see another black man and he might say what's up to you or just off the strength of you black and you know what I'm saying, like, what's up? Like, you have a different type of energy, like that's that self-hate. Yeah. And that's that white supremacy indoctrinated. That is. And so we all gotta work, and we gotta identify it to be able to work on it.
Check yourself hate for sure. Or like example of you used to have people that ran the neighborhood, terrorized the neighborhood, robbing whoever looked like they had money. They struggling like you, but you robbing them. Right. So now we have this gentrification. We have people that actually come in the neighborhood with true wealth, with actually something to take, and you brothers ain't nowhere to be found. But yeah, so you have people that actually have what you're looking for, and you don't even look that way.
Yeah, man. You gangster until gentrification happen.
Gangster until gentrification happen. And that's a lot of people. Right, man, a lot of people. Like, yo, I remember, like, you used to be the baddest man in town. Now, what's going on? Yeah. And it's self-hate. It's self-hate because you'll rob one of us quick. Right. I can't even have a decent car. I can't even look like I'm on my way to success without you trying to see what's going on and running up on me trying to see what's in my pockets. They already got this. They got these beautiful condos in the middle of the hood, driving a BMW.
Tall
skinnies with a balcony over it, looking to see. I didn't even know we had those type of views.
That shit is amazing.
With the BMW, you don't even look that way, man. Nah, self-hate.
Ain't gonna walk. Ain't gonna run it.
Man, oh my goodness! At 5 in the morning, like it's cool.
Or 6 at night.
With their little Yorkie or whatever, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's self-hate. That's self-hate, man. We gotta check each other. Well, check ourselves, man, for sure.
Damn, that's wild. And I hope, like, damn, you got me reflecting, like, damn, when's the last time, like, and I try to be intentional, especially when I see a black man, that say what's up, but I still get my feelings. Like if you don't say what's up back to me, I'm in my feelings.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Like
I mean, because you're extending the olive branch, right? That's understandable.
I mean, and so they make me kind of want to resort, but like, nigga, fuck you too, then. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but it's like, it's like, damn, like, but it's like just recognizing it.
Right, exactly. That's a big part, man. Recognize it, because it's hard to recognize, man, especially within yourself.
Right,
it's difficult.
Right,
it's difficult, man. Like, what you mean self-hate? I love myself, man. Nah, dog.
It's deeper than that.
It's deep. It's deep, man. So yeah, you got to do some real self-reflection, man.
Man, do you think that we could overcome white supremacy and or racism in the United States? And I know that's
profound, for sure. Can we overcome it?
And overcoming might look different to because let me put this out there. I don't think we alleviating the white supremacy in the United States.
Fair enough.
I don't unless the government had to, in my opinion, they had to, like, the whole foundation of what makes it, they would have to fall crumble.
For sure.
And so when I say overcome too, it may look different to you or anybody else on what overcoming racism and white supremacy in this country in a non-utopia, utopian way.
I got you. Yeah. No, I'm glad you said it, because it does look different. I had to think on that. It looks a lot different, right, from the traditional standard of what we've been taught, and I get some flack for this. I'll take it. But this tradition of picket signs and go out and vote, we've been doing that for 150 years. What's the difference? What progress have we made?
Nah, it's stats to back that up.
Exactly. So what progress have we made? So we're gonna talk about the things that matter. Let's talk about wealth, right?
Right.
What impact or what strides have we made as Black people as far as wealth since our being able to vote? Right.
Since about 1960. And like you talking about group wealth, man. Like, we can make it individually, but group wealth, that's
exactly. Or ownership, things that matter. We're in America. We're in the home of the entrepreneur, home of ownership. How has that impacted us? Have we made strides of ownership? Have we just made that much, like, everybody owning something, or we're in a good position? Do we feel like we are?
Right.
No. So, with that being said, to do the same thing, expect different results, it's a definition of insanity.
Right.
So we got to switch that whole little model up some way, somehow. So when you say look different, it's going to look damn different.
Right.
Now I'm saying all the way different, because it ain't working.
Right.
That's just what it is. Like, I appreciate the effort. I think we all should. We should all commend everyone who's trying, but it ain't working. So let's go back to the drawing board and figure this out. That's the only way we're going to overcome white supremacy in America. That's the only way. And
I'm going to check myself right quick. And you actually checked me on this, like, I don't know if you remember, it was a minute ago, and just about overcoming and giving people their kudos for trying. Me, myself included, many years ago, people could be trying, but we would be critical. We would criticize them trying, and we may not be doing anything, but we say, oh, well, they should be doing this instead of that. Well, we should just be just appreciative and thankful that somebody is trying, even though it might not be the same path or course or way that you personally may do it. That don't mean you minimize what they doing,
exactly,
or what they doing is wrong. They're trying to be impactful, and so I think you had to check me on that actually. I don't know if you remember that. You had to check me on that actually, because I think I was just being like, I was just critiquing something, somebody or something was going on, and you was like, hey man, you really need to look at, hey, they doing something.
For
like,
sure.
We got to get away from, like, criticizing Black folks on what they doing for Black folks.
Right. And I called it out because I seen it within myself. Because it wasn't nothing but frustration, right? Because it's like, yo, that's the wrong way. Come on, man, you should be doing this, that. It's frustration.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got a reason to be frustrated, a lot of reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But commend them, take your time. Like, yo, appreciate it. Because in that same breath, we got so many people working against us that look like us. You feel me?
Right.
Ready and willing to work against this whole movement, this whole progress that we're trying to do.
Right.
So now I'm saying, give me kudos, appreciate it, man.
Right.
But appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Probably needs to be tweaked.
Right.
but you're doing something other than sitting on the couch or working against us.
And there's a way to critique. Right? It's like, hey man, I'd like to talk to you more about your plan and give you some ideas instead of just like coming out the gate, jumping out the window, just criticizing.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Which is the easy thing to do, right?
It's easy. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
They jump out the window, like jump all the way out the window. And a lot of times, probably more times than none, the people that jump out the window are not doing anything in their personal space in life to impact the community that criticizing somebody else that's trying to impact. So no, I had to check myself. Zon had to check me, and and I continue to check myself on it. But I think that's something too when we talk about white supremacy, mannerism, and self-hate, and like kind of working against each other. We don't have to. There's something that we tend to do that we don't need to do.
Agree. And I think that needs to be checked more on the fact of the critics that don't do anything, that sit on the couch. Well, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, how have you helped?
Right.
And then those critiques start getting lower and lower. Because you're not doing nothing. You're just sitting on your ass. You're doing what anybody can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that definitely needs to be a thing that happens in the black community. Because everybody got something to say. Everybody a critic.
Right.
What are you doing? What action are you putting behind those words?
So I'm gonna ask you a different question. This would be this would be the last question. I'm gonna let you go, then bring you back with some more questions.
For sure.
What can non-people of color do to combat white supremacy?
Ooh, I like this one, man. Honesty, man. We need honesty right now, and in every aspect of it. Honesty of the system, of you. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Like you said, you had somebody that came in and told you about the grandfather. Right. And tell you how he indoctrinated her and this. It's generational, right? We need that honesty because that's the only way we're going to combat it. You keep throwing rocks and hiding your hand or being dishonest, we ain't never going to get to the problem. Right. Ever. So, first of all, we need you to be honest. And then we also need you to use, they say, privilege. You need to use your privilege to help us. Right. That's what it is. Right. So you just saying, yeah, Black Lives Matter, hanging a banner in your yard. Thank you. Yeah. What's that going to do? Right. That's an easy way out. That's a cop out. Right. Anybody can do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You might get a little flack here and there from a Trump supporter, but what real change are you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Look, what about this gentrified home that you displaced black people out of? Right. We want to talk about that? Right. Now that gets you out of your comfort zone? Right. So now we're not being honest. You just want to be comfortable. You just want to be a protester from the comfort of your $1 million home in North Nashville. And, you know what I'm saying? Man, shout out to Will Acuff. He broke it down to like this. He said, it's two types of gentrifiers. There's lowercase g and capital G. He said the lowercase g, hopefully I might be mixing up the G's. But the point is like one of the G's is like, okay, you move into this gentrification, move into this area that's displaced families, but however, you don't build a literal fence around you and the rest of the community. You try to embrace and use whatever privilege you might have to be a part and give back. And then understand you should have gentrifier, but you know what I'm saying, you lowercase gentrifier. You're not the big G. Well, the big G comes in, they're gonna put a fence around you, not trying to have communication, not trying to pour back into big
the community.
American flag in the yard.
And not trying to interact, just gonna be in their own isolated area of the neighborhood or the community until everything else like looks the way they want it to look and not embrace what was there, and not even understanding like the impact that them just moving there has had on the community. Yeah. And so but yeah, shout out to Will for that breakdown.
For sure. One more thing, as far as what they can do, check your people. I don't want you to tell me what black people can do, but check your people, because that's what the true problem is. Right. Check your people, like this
intentionally.
Exactly, man. I appreciate y'all being along with the marches, holding hands, kumbaya. That's cool. Check your people, because 9 times out of 10, it's your mama, it's your auntie. Right. It's your dad. No, it's your grandfather.
At them kitchen table talks, put people in their place.
It does. It does.
No, they need to.
Right, and educate them.
Yeah.
Educate them. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's how I feel like definitely would help. Definitely.
Zon Trill, I appreciate you, brother, man. I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too, man. And, appreciate the invite, dog.
Nah, man, you'll be back, man. And yeah, man, I know people gonna get a lot from this. I took a lot from this. Joshua, you get a lot from this? Yeah, man. He don't take much of him to get a lot. But nah, man, love you, dog.
For sure, man.
All right, man. Check you out, man. For sure.